Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Thursday morning to you all. First day of September. I'm super hyped for it. I love this time of the year that we're entering. Not quite there yet, as it is still very warm and uncomfortable out there, at least in my neck of the woods here in South Carolina. But for a lot of folks out there, especially, outside the South and to the areas of the Ohio Valley to Northeast, you're waking up to what feels like September. Some folks out there in the low 60s, waking up to the 50s, so it feels really nice out there. So I'm definitely jealous of you folks who are waking up and it's actually feeling like a September morning. But of course, it's September 1st, and we don't really see any big time changes until we get a few more weeks into September into October. But anyways, I got you an update on what is likely going to happen weather-wise for most of the lower 48, and then we're going to give you an update on the tropics. National Hurricane Center now has Tropical Depression 5, which is that area we talked about in last night's video in the North Atlantic. That is forecast to become Danielle. Probably, maybe by the time some of you folks watch this video, it'll be Tropical Storm Danielle. But not only forecast to become a tropical storm, but a hurricane. So we're going to talk about that, the rest of these systems, and break this down for you guys. If you guys have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button for me. Like the video if you like it. I would say, goal for the end of the year is to hit 30,000 subscribers. I think that's obtainable. So definitely shooting for that. It's wild. I entered this year with just shy of 10,000. So that I feel like 20,000 subscribers in a 1 year period is awesome. And I'm certainly blessed for it. So I really appreciate you guys. If you guys got anything I can pray about, pray over, please put it in the comments below. It gives me an opportunity to pray over it, and it gives others an opportunity to do so too. Let's continue to do that and look out for one another. So, National Hurricane Center update per the 5 a.m. update. There'll be an 8 a.m. update here in about an hour or so. This is chances to develop within the next 5 days. First off, this has developed. This is a tropical cyclone now, Tropical Depression 5. This is forecast to become a tropical storm pretty shortly. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if it's getting close to one right now, as it has a robust low-level circulation, and a mid-level convection is really exploding on top of that low-level circulation, which is really what you look for strengthening tropical cyclones. You still got 91L, and this is now, I believe, 92L. I shouldn't have done my research, but anyways, this has now been dubbed, and Invest still has a 40% chance to develop in the next 48 hours. And I wouldn't be surprised if this eventually right here becomes Earl, which will be our E name. So right now, Tropical Depression 5 forecast to become a tropical storm. But notice, it's moving east-northeast at 2 miles per hour. I mean, most of us can walk faster than that. So, and it's going to just hardly go anywhere. The cone of uncertainty goes all the way out to 2 a.m. Tuesday. And, it's not like it's going to move much, but it'll become a hurricane, most likely, this weekend. So, it's very interesting that this is going to be our first hurricane of the 2022 hurricane season. But I have a feeling this is going to be a very, attractive looking hurricane on satellite loop here in the next day or two. It really is. It'll look great out there, just spinning away, not really bothering anybody except fish. So, this is not supposed to be or forecast to become any kind of threatening system. But we'll continue to watch it for sure, as more so just eye candy for the weather world. But let's talk about what's going on in the U.S. Just a general chance of storms. Nothing severe expected. We're not expecting any crazy active weather, but just a general chance of storms. And that's about it. Anybody in the light green area. Now, rainfall, that's a different story. We're still watching for a chance for a high risk for flash flooding being met in areas of western Texas. We'll zone in on that area here in a minute. And then now you got this slight area, at least a 15% risk of flash flood guidance being met in this area in northeast Texas. But quickly, I want to mention Mississippi. There's a big time water crisis ongoing in Jackson, Mississippi. And I'll be honest, I didn't realize it was as bad off as it really was. I know you guys got some big time flooding in Mississippi last week. But, y'all guys people are running out of bottled water, so they definitely need help out there. So I'm hoping you guys can continue to recover in and around, especially the Jackson, Mississippi area, which I think is the highest populated city in Mississippi. So praying for you guys and hoping the best for you guys. I've seen some some tough situations in the state of Mississippi. So hoping you guys continue to recover, or recovery efforts start to get escalated in that area. More attention is brought to that area. But As far as rain today, the southeast, a pretty quiet day. We're going to probably see some shower storm activity in southern areas of South Carolina, maybe central and southern areas of Georgia. And then, of course, Florida is going to see some rounds of showers and storms a little bit later today. Anybody in Florida could see it. And then we'll watch for that shower and storm activity in areas of Texas, eastern Oklahoma, western Arkansas. But and then I really think some showers and storms will sneak into areas of southeast Alabama a little bit later into the evening hours. The Northeast, beautiful first day of September expected. You couldn't ask for a better day. No real rain chances. Maybe a shower or two in areas of Ohio, but in general, very nice conditions. Excellent weather for your first day of September. My folks down here in the south central U.S. and Texas, I think you'll have rounds of showers and storms that pump in out of Mexico again today. This will bring widespread tropical downpours and just, downpours in general. The rain could add up quick, anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of rain expected in these areas in western Texas. And remember, you guys out there seem to always be in a drought, and this continues to be the case. So an inch of rain in a short amount of time can cause big issues out here. So we're watching here. I haven't seen any flash flooding, big time concerns from yesterday or the day before, but we'll continue to watch this area as rounds of showers and storms will pump up through this area and this area of Texas also, maybe all the way up into Oklahoma City. And we'll continue to monitor that situation. And it seems like flooding has been a big storyline over the last month or so. It really has, from eastern Kentucky, Mississippi. Just seems like it's been the theme of this summer. It really has. But the north central U.S., very quiet weather. Maybe an isolated shower in Iowa. Other than that, beautiful conditions expected. Temperatures will start to warm up, though, in the northern plains. Maybe 100-degree reading or two in areas of the Dakotas. And it's definitely not going to feel so much like September. All the way up into the UP of Michigan, Minnesota, the entire state, deep into the 80s. It's basically, excuse me, a little burp there. Basically, the influence of the trough basically shifts a little bit further eastward. So I think the immediate northeast area, especially the interior northeast, heck, some areas in a few thousand feet up in the air might not get out the 50s. Very nice fall air mass up here. And for your fan of cool weather in the Northeast, I know I always speak as if everybody is a fan of the cool weather, but I know not everybody is. But in general, most of the chilliest air mass is going to be confined to the southeast areas of Canada and then the interior areas of the Northeast. But if it gets very warm very quick down here in the south, 80s and 90s expected. But maybe some low humidity. Basically, if you're anywhere from Tennessee, North Carolina, points north, could be expected in this area. So let's go on and shift to the tropics. First off, you got Invest 91L. You got this Invest over here. Forgive me for not knowing the number. It's either 92 or 94L, I believe. I should have done a little bit more research. Sometimes I just hop on here and I start talking weather and I just go with the flow. I'll be completely honest with you guys. But here it is. I know that we have Tropical Storm Depression 5 right here. And I know you're looking at this and you're like, well, Mitch, this does not look that impressive. Well, it is. And I'm about to get a little bit closer to it on here in a second. But 91 Invest L, which could become Earl. But I definitely think this is going to become Danielle. I don't think this is going to take the D name. I think this could be Danielle as soon as maybe sometime within the next 6 to 12 hours. I'm serious on that. I think this is going to intensify very quickly. Is it enough to call rapid intensification? I don't know about that. But I definitely think this is going to intensify pretty quickly. But you got some convection, going off with Invest and 91L. But it's still just, it's not that impressive. It's looked basically the same over the last I would say 5-6 days, honestly. But here it is. We're going to take a look at satellite visibility here. The sun is coming up on Tropical Depression 5, and that's why the screen is black, and then all of a sudden it lights up. But this is Tropical Depression 5. This is this system right up here, way up here in the North Atlantic. This is about to look really photogenic or whatever you want to call it, but it's starting to take on that symmetrical shape of a tropical system, and I think I could argue that this might be a tropical storm right now. In fact, maybe the 8 a.m. update, it maybe gets upgraded to Tropical Storm Danielle, but if not, within the next 1 or 2 updates, probably by the time we get into this evening, I would not be surprised if by the time we get to the 8 p.m. update. I would be surprised if we don't by the time we get to the 8 p.m. update that we don't have Tropical Storm Danielle right here, but it is really starting to take on the structure. You can see the circulating low-level jet that's really wrapping under this mid-level convection, and then you have the mid-level convection exploding right on top of the center of the storm, but still getting exposed to a little bit of shear. So we'll continue to watch to see how this develops over the next, I would say, 6 to 12 hours. I think this is really going to take on a really beautiful structure. And I don't feel bad using the term beautiful because, I mean, it's not like it's affecting, it's developing and heading right towards the Gulf coastline. So we'll continue to watch this. I really think this will be some eye candy by the time we get into about the next 24 hours. But moving forward here, we'll look at the latest Euro. So looking at this, but we look at the latest Euro. Sorry, I had to stop the video really quick and attend to my dog that was going haywire outside. But we look at the Euro. What does the latest Euro show? So we're moving through in time and watch. Watch this right here. As the number drops right here in millibars, that's the stronger the storm is. This continues to drop steadily over the next, I would say, 48 hours. At this point, it's most likely going to be a hurricane, I think, as soon as Saturday. But, you know, the latest Euro doesn't have it getting quite as strong as maybe it was. And here's this feature right here, you know, Invest 91L just really doesn't even want to develop anymore. It doesn't. I mean, eventually it tries to pop it off right here in the northern Atlantic again, but in general, it just really doesn't want to develop. This moves what will likely be Danielle on out of here. If the Euro is correct, we will not have Earl out of 91L. But here it is. Here's that feature we talked about in last night's video that continues to show up. But I will tell you, over the last couple runs, I wouldn't say the signal in the ensembles has went down, but it's showing a weaker storm. Now, what's interesting with the GFS is the GFS really likes the idea of this becoming a strong hurricane now when the European has kind of let loose on this again. But the GFS and the Euro continue to totally disagree with this down here. The good news with Bermuda, my folks in Bermuda, you guys look safe. I mean, almost all model guidance shows whether this is a hurricane or not, it's just not going to be a big deal for you guys except for some big-time swells against the island, but that's about it. But the GFS still wants this to become a hurricane. So it would have 2 hurricanes in the Atlantic at one time, but not really bothering anybody by the time we get into early next week. Now, we look deep down here in the tropics. What's crazy is the OOZ GFS did away with any kind of tropical development after this. The latest O6Z brings the tropical development back and has a tropical storm about 10 days out cruising through what we call the main development region down here as we're coming up to about, you know, the second week of September. And if we were to keep the run going, this turns into a major hurricane. But I can tell you, it looks like it's curving out to sea around this ridge of high pressure. But you got to watch out for Bermuda. But again, this is 312 hours out. It's not a reliable time frame. So latest GFS really has a big hurricane, but I mean, one, it's further out, and even if it was to occur, it looks like it's heading out to sea, but it's just one model run. Latest European ensembles, still a stout signal for this low riding system down here that we will likely continue to talk about. Has all the guidance from 91L heading out to sea. Of course, this isn't going to affect anybody. And outside of that, that little wave right here, not really forecasted to develop. I just don't really think it's going to get going. This little piece of energy, right, I don't even think I have it up anymore. But anyways, I don't think that it's really going to get going at all, this little area right here. So we'll continue to keep updates pumping out for you guys. Appreciate the support. Love you all. Have a great first day of September. And I'll talk to you guys this evening. God bless.